Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to our channel. I'm Lillian. I am a service dog handler, and my service dog in training's name is Rosie. And today we're going to be talking about a very important video that I did tons of hours of research to make a great video for you guys. This video is about 3 or 4 pages of scripted notes. So that I can give you guys the best information possible, but it's time that I kind of opened up to you guys and I kind of shared some stuff, because I don't want to be that person and be like, this is good or this is bad, but not actually, show you the research that I've done or that other people have done. And so that's what today's video is, and today's video is going to be on the science and the truth about e-collars. E-collar versus shock collar. Now an e-collar is a newer version of a shock collar. There is not really a thing as shock collar, but shock collars were the original version of the e-collar, and then e-collars are the new adapted version. E-collars are used with newer technologies that have been researched and studied to safely be able to use it to train your dog with. An e-collar stems is for low-level training only, does not cause pain, works like a TENS unit at a medical facility. It has multiple settings of stem, continual stem, and vibrate, as well as lights on the e-collar. These used together are created to make it very well effective training for your dog. Shock collars are made with older and outdated methods. These methods were for the original e-collar, which was a shock collar. They actually shocked your dog, and we're going to be getting into that later in this video. Shock collars have about 3 settings of shock. Now you will see that some of the newer e-collar ones, which we're going to be talking about, the newer e-collars or shock collars out there that are cheaper, which would be anything under $100. These are made with the older technologies, and I am going to be talking and showing you the research that the newer ones have done, and kind of showing you more in depth on the difference between a expensive and a cheap e-collar. Original shock collar was created with 3 settings that actually shocked your dog. A shock collar actually shocks your dog, and a shock collar actually shocks your dog at every level, even the low levels. The shock collar causes actual pain. Shock collars, or e-collars with the outdated and older methods, actually shock your dog and do cause pain. They can cause emotional and physical trauma. They can cause muscle and brain damage to your dog. So now we're going to be getting into the newer technologies of the e-collar. This is the safe e-collar to be using. We're not going to be talking about the shock collar just yet. We're going to be talking about the newer, researched and higher brand new technologies of the newer and better e-collar. Does it hurt? Absolutely not. I've tried it on myself and I've tried it on my dog, and neither shows signs that it hurts. These collars are designed specifically not to injure your dog, and they're designed specifically for low-level training. If you do get up above about 50, yes, it is actually shocking your dog, and yeah, that's gonna hurt if it's actually shocking. But majority of the time, when you are using it correctly, it should be at low levels. High levels are for emergencies only. If your dog runs out in the road, if your dog is running away from you, then in emergencies only, you can turn it up. But I do not recommend turning it up above 50 at max, because this does actually hurt your dog and it will shock you. E-collars were designed for low-level training. This means that you should be using levels 0 to 20. Those are about the low levels that you do. Sometimes you may have to turn it up above that, but the majority of the time you should be able to stay within 5 and 15. It does not hurt, and it is actually similar and has the same technologies as a TENS unit that a medical doctor uses on humans. It feels the same. It is a stimulation of the muscles in the neck of the dog that gives them a correction. It does not injure them when used correctly. And the newer e-collars with the new technologies and the safe ones to be using, the ones that are expensive but are safe, you should not be able to feel them at all until level 3. I recommend the Mini Educator, and I cannot feel anything in it until level 3, and that is barely anything. It would not effectively be able to feel it, a correction, until it gets to about 9 to 10. Things positive reinforcement trainers tell you about e-collars that are incorrect. It's abuse. It is absolutely 100% not abuse when you use it correctly. When you're using it incorrectly, or when you're using cheap e-collars, anything under $100, you are abusing your dog. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that is okay. If you're going to train your dog, you need to be able to spend the money to correctly get the good and correct tools to use to effectively train your dog without harming them. It shocks and causes pain. No, it does not. The older and cheaper collars with the outdated technologies do actually shock your dog, as I've mentioned before, and are dangerous and are abusive to use. The new ones that we are talking about at this moment are not dangerous whatsoever. They do not shock your dog. They do not cause pain to your dog. They cause a muscle stimulation, again, like a TENS unit, to just vibrate and stimulate the muscles in the neck to give a even and solid correction. The companies that are safe to use and the companies that research it and do their research to upgrade their technologies to something that is safe to use for dogs. Dogtra and e-collar technologies are the two and the only two that I will recommend. There are more out there that are on the more expensive side, and they are also good, but I have most experience with the Mini Educator from e-collar technologies, but also with the Dogtra brand. There are many good brands used for hunting dogs or used for even working dogs or pets that are completely safe to use. But again, the safe ones are going to be over $100, mainly over $150. If you get anything below $150 on retail price, it's probably not going to be good, but definitely do not get anything under $100. These companies put in thousands upon thousands of dollars to research this product and the science behind it. They've put so much money and backing to research this to create safe products to use to train your dog effectively and safely. You will see that most of these companies, if not all of them, and any person that uses an e-collar correctly will tell you that you need to get advice from a professional trainer before using it. A professional trainer should advise you on how to use it and show you correctly how to use it before you purchase the product and before you go ahead and use the product. The prices are high on the good e-collars, and this is because of the research and the money that they have put in to create a safe product to train your dog with. They spend so much money and so much time doing scientific research on how to create a safe product, and it is important that they get the money that they deserve out of it, and that is why they are so expensive, because the technologies are not cheap to come by. The way that these are made are not cheap, because they've spent so much time researching ways to make a safe tool to train your dog with. Cheap e-collars versus the expensive e-collars. Here's the difference between a cheap e-collar or shock collar and the actual expensive newer technologies of the new and improved e-collar. The new and improved safe e-collars use newer technologies and newer products that they have researched on how to create. They spend lots of money and lots of time researching and buying things to test so that they finally created a safe product that you can use. The newer technologies of the e-collar only stim the muscles. They do no shocking whatsoever unless you get into the higher levels that are only for emergencies. These products were created with tons of research to back it for low-level training only. Higher levels, specifically stated on their websites and in their research, higher levels are only for emergencies and should not be used on an everyday basis. And the more expensive actual e-collars are not painful at all. They have research to back it up. You can try it on yourself. It does not hurt you at all using it at the level that I train my dog at, that other people train their dog at. If you're going to be using something on your dog, be the responsible owner and test it on yourself. Any setting of the e-collar that she has ever felt, I have felt too. The cheap brands of e-collar and the older, outdated technologies of the e-collar or the shock collar, they did not spend half the amount of money that the higher and more expensive companies spent on doing research. In fact, some of them didn't really do that much research at all, if any. In fact, most of the cheaper ones spend more money on advertising than they do on research that they do, and that should be a big red flag. The better and well-made, higher up, newer technologies of the e-collar don't have to spend as much money as they did on research. They don't have to spend as much money on promoting their product as the cheaper brands do, because they know that their product is safe and so many people recommend their products and companies. The shock collars and the cheap, outdated technologies of the older e-collars actually shock the dog. They can cause brain and muscle damage as well as mental and physical trauma to your dog, meaning that you can traumatize your dog mentally and physically, which can be very detrimental to your dog, and over time, if continued, could kill them. They do not have different levels. In fact, with cheaper e-collars, which I did make the mistake of buying, luckily I never put it on my dog. I was bought a cheap e-collar, and the second it touched me, I tried it on level 1, which was supposed to be just a tiny bit. In the newer updated e-collars, you should not be able to feel it again, as I said, until you get to the cheaper e-collar that I had and never touched my dog. When I put it on myself at level 1, the newer updated actual e-collars, you should not be able to feel anything till level 3, as I'd stated. It actually shocked me very hard at level 1 and left my hand tingling for about an hour or two afterwards. If you can't tell from that those tools are abusive, and just by hitting it once, if not more times like you would have to do to train a dog with, if not just hitting it once caused that much pain, I would never put it on my dog. Always, always, always work with a trainer or someone who knows what they're doing. Do not just grab an e-collar off the internet, even a good one, even an actual e-collar. Don't just grab an e-collar and be like, I'm gonna train my dog with this, and just be like, cool. I learned from a professional trainer how to use it. I was not going to put something on my dog. This includes e-collars, prong collars, halties, gentle leaders, choke chains, martingales, or any type of training tool that you use. Always learn from a professional trainer. They are professionals. They've worked in this industry. They know what they're talking about. Ask them to teach you the proper way to use it so that you don't accidentally misuse it when you think that YouTube video that you watched showed you the proper way to use it. So ask a professional trainer how to use the e-collar. Ask the professional trainer how and what is the safety protocol for the product that you're using. Ask them, how do I use this safely? What should I not do with it? And ask a trainer how to get the best outcome and have them work with you to help you get the best outcome with using that tool. What's important is to also do your own research. I research every product that I do, especially the e-collar, because there's a lot of controversy around it. Do your own research. In the description below, I am going to be linking the good and credible sites that you can research and read up on. These are from the companies that spend lots of money doing this, and some other sites as well. I have picked out quite a few sites that are safe and good to get proper research from and not biased research. And that is also a very important thing, is a lot of sites are biased because people want you to think this way or think that way, when all of these other sites, the sites that have done a lot of work and research on that and put a lot of money into the research, aren't just going to be persuaded. Even if they are trying to promote the product, they're not going to persuade, they're going to tell you the science behind it and how it is safe. This is very controversial, and I don't want any hate on training tools down below, because I have done my own research and I know plenty of people who have researched the science behind this and have researched to make sure that these are safe tools to be using on our dogs, especially our working dogs. Hey guys, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. The end of this video got lost somewhere. I don't know where the footage went, but it's gone. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I put a lot of effort. I scripted about 2, 3, 4 pages of information that I wanted to put in there, and I do want to invite you guys to check the links down below. I lost a couple of the links because my phone went nuts, but I'm going to link the eCollar Technologies and Dogtra articles if I can find them, so check down below. I will link those down below. Make sure to keep comments positive, and make sure to hit the like button. I could really use it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for more content like this, and more vlogs about service dogs, and more things about just living with chronic illnesses and disabilities and symptoms and things with a service dog and disabilities and stuff. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the bell so you don't miss a video from us, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.